What happens when a man becomes a machine to fight crime, only to discover he's being used as a pawn in a corporate game? From explosive battles to shocking betrayals, this gripping tale of justice, corruption, and redemption will leave you questioning the future of law enforcement. Can one cyborg take down an empire? You won't believe how it all unfolds. The year is 2028, and Omnicorp, a powerful multinational corporation, has revolutionized military operations for years. They've developed cutting-edge drones equipped with advanced scanners capable of instantly assessing whether someone poses a threat. These drones are deployed globally to maintain security, but their next potential frontier is law enforcement. Renowned TV host Novak is an outspoken advocate for replacing traditional police officers in American cities with these robots. However, public skepticism runs high, with many fearing the cold, unfeeling nature of machines, and government officials remain firmly opposed to the idea. To push his agenda, Novak invites a high-ranking military official to his show to explain how the drones operate in the field. Simultaneously, he dispatches a reporter to the Middle East to showcase the robot's efficiency live on air. The broadcast highlights the machine's precision, emphasizing that they do not harm anyone unless identified as a threat. While the reporter praises the robots for their flawless safety measures, the local population expresses visible resentment at having their homeland patrolled by lifeless enforcers. Tensions erupt when a rebel group, armed with heavy weapons, launches an attack on the machines. Chaos ensues as drones retaliate with devastating firepower, reducing buildings to rubble. Amid the destruction, one robot spots a terrified boy clutching a sharp object for self-defense. The scanner flags him as a threat, and the robot unalived him instantly. Novak defends this outcome, declaring it a necessary act for maintaining order, even as public outrage grows. Meanwhile, at a local police station, Detective Alex faces scrutiny from his superiors after a botched operation. He recounts the events of the previous night. Alex and his partner went undercover to bust an arms dealer. They managed to arrest the dealer and seize illegal weapons, but when Alex later checked the evidence locker, the weapons were gone. With no paperwork filed, it was clear a corrupt officer had stolen them. The situation escalated when the pair went undercover again, this time meeting a gang leader at a restaurant. The operation was compromised when the leader received a tip-off about Alex's identity, triggering a combat. The detectives barely escaped, but Alex's partner was gravely injured in the process. His superior reprimands him for the lack of backup and promises to investigate the department's corruption. Elsewhere in Washington, D.C., Omnicorp CEO Raymond Sellers lobbies Congress to approve robotic police officers. Despite his arguments, lawmakers remain unconvinced, citing the robot's inability to feel as a critical flaw. Determined to sway public opinion, Sellers convenes a brainstorming session with his team. They decide that blending human intuition with machine efficiency could be the solution. Sellers approaches Dr. Norton, a specialist in robotic prosthetics, and persuades him to develop a human-machine hybrid. Norton initially hesitates, but ultimately agrees, seeing potential in the project. However, finding a suitable candidate proves challenging, as most injured officers are either physically unfit or too emotionally scarred to participate. Meanwhile, Alex unknowingly becomes a target of corrupt officers within his precinct. These officers, in cahoots with the gang leader, plot to eliminate him. One night, as Alex visits his wounded partner in the hospital, a criminal plants an explosive device under his car. Later, as Alex prepares to settle in for the evening with his wife, Clara, and their son, he hears his car alarm. When he steps outside to investigate, the vehicle explodes, leaving him critically injured. Omnicorp seizes the opportunity to intervene. They offer Clara a chance to save Alex by transforming him into a cyborg. Initially hesitant, Clara is swayed by the harrowing details of Alex's injuries and reluctantly consents. Months later, Alex awakens in his new form, a fusion of man and machine. Confused and horrified, he struggles to accept his condition. Dr. Norton attempts to reassure him, revealing that his memories and personality remain intact. Despite his initial resistance, Alex agrees to adapt after a heartfelt conversation with Clara, who reminds him of the life they still have together. Under military supervision, Alex begins rigorous training to integrate his human instincts with his robotic capabilities. However, his reliance on emotions slows his decision-making compared to the emotionless efficiency of the drones. Military overseer Rick remains skeptical of the program, deeming it an unnecessary experiment. Despite setbacks, Alex gradually improves, demonstrating extraordinary physical capabilities, but grappling with the moral dilemmas his new existence entails. One night, left alone in the lab, Alex accesses a computer to track developments in the gang leader case. The following day, Sellers reviews the simulation results with mounting frustration. Displeased with Alex's performance, he orders Dr. Norton to address the shortcomings immediately. Sellers, ever the businessman, also emphasizes the importance of Alex's visual appeal for marketing. He demands a more polished and tactical redesign for Alex's appearance. Back in the lab, Norton reluctantly makes modifications to Alex's neural system, creating the illusion of free will while ensuring that the machine controls his actions. Alex's tactical suit undergoes a complete overhaul, emerging as sleek, black, and designed to exude a cutting-edge, commanding presence. The revamped Alex is soon tested in an abandoned facility against Rick and a battalion of robots. Utilizing his upgraded visor, Alex rapidly scans his surroundings and executes flawless maneuvers, eliminating targets with precision and without hesitation. His reflexes are sharper than ever, allowing him to avoid injuries while systematically dismantling the robotic army. The test concludes with Alex defeating Rick's exoskeleton in a decisive move, earning accolades from the Omnicorp team. Despite his brain being sidelined during the action, Alex remains oblivious, convinced he is in control. Sellers celebrates the success, satisfied that their creation is now market-ready. Later, Norton accompanies Alex to his home for an emotional reunion with his family. Alex, though apprehensive, is greeted warmly by Clara, who embraces him without hesitation. Their son, David, is initially unsure but soon warms up after Alex allows him to inspect his new mechanical features. David's excitement is palpable as he mentions saving video games to play together. Unfortunately, Alex's time is limited, as he must return to the lab for overnight maintenance. Upon returning to the facility, Alex reconnects with his recovering partner. Vowing to bring those responsible for their suffering to justice, Alex's resolve strengthens. Days later, Omnicorp gears up for a high-profile public unveiling of Alex. Norton begins loading a decade's worth of crime data into Alex's system, granting him access to every security camera in the city. The massive influx of information overwhelms Alex's human brain, triggering a seizure when he stumbles upon footage of his car explosion. Norton advises postponing the event, but pressure from Sellers forces him to suppress Alex's emotions entirely. Once stabilized, Alex is ready for the presentation. At the event, Alex methodically scans the faces in the crowd, identifying individuals as either civilians or criminals. Midway through, he spots a wanted criminal standing just steps away from a police officer. Without hesitation, Alex leaps into action, apprehending the target with surgical precision. The crowd erupts in applause, and Novak seizes the moment to tout the superiority of robots over humans, highlighting the police's failure to act. However, Clara is distraught. Omnicorp's control over Alex has left her and David estranged from him. Norton reassures her that Alex's condition is temporary, though his words provide little comfort. The following day, Alex returns to active duty, declaring his intent to apprehend 13 criminals in a single day. Despite his colleagues' concerns, Alex rides off, using the city's surveillance network to locate a group of dealers. While most flee, Alex captures one and extracts critical information about their operation. His pursuit leads him to an illegal drug lab, where he storms in on his bike, neutralizing every criminal in his path with precision. Omnicorp celebrates Alex's effectiveness, and Sellers grants Rick unrestricted monitoring privileges to ensure their asset remains in control. As Alex continues his crime-fighting spree, public opinion begins to shift in favor of robotic law enforcement. Novak champions this transformation on his show, silencing dissenting voices. Meanwhile, corrupt officers within the police force convene with the gang leader to devise a plan to neutralize Alex, who has become a thorn in their side. One day, Clara intercepts Alex in traffic, pleading with him to show any semblance of emotion. She reveals that David has been plagued by nightmares ever since witnessing the car explosion. Though Alex initially appears unaffected, her words resonate deeply. Later, Alex reviews security footage and discovers that David had witnessed the traumatic event, sparking a surge of suppressed humanity within him. Driven by newfound determination, Alex begins unraveling the mystery of his own attack. At the lab, Norton observes the change in Alex, but opts to let him continue, as Alex remains focused on solving a crime. Using surveillance data, Alex reconstructs the events surrounding the explosion. His investigation leads him to an associate of the gang leader, whom he interrogates by breaking the gang leader's hand and demanding answers. The suspect provides a crucial lead, allowing Alex to triangulate the gang's location. Alex storms the gang's base, confronting heavily armed criminals equipped with night vision goggles. Activating his own enhanced vision, Alex methodically eliminates every adversary, sustaining some damage in the process. Once the scene is secured, Alex collects evidence, uncovering the involvement of corrupt officers. Returning to the station, he exposes incriminating footage on every computer, forcing one of the corrupt cops to confess. When another officer attempts to interrupt him, Alex neutralizes the threat without hesitation. Confronting his superior, Alex seeks answers about the corruption within the department. However, before he can proceed further, Rick remotely shuts him down. Sellers sees an opportunity to spin the incident, and Novak leverages it to assert the infallibility of machines, claiming their incorruptibility as their greatest strength. The following day, momentum shifts in favor of deploying robots in law enforcement as government officials begin voting on the matter. However, the live broadcast is abruptly interrupted by Clara, who appears on air to reveal a startling truth. She has been barred from seeing her husband, and no one at Omnicorp will return her calls. Her public outcry shakes the foundation of Omnicorp's plans, leaving Sellers deeply unsettled. He fears that Clara's determination might reignite Alex's humanity, jeopardizing their control over him and ultimately risking the law's approval. Faced with a potential disaster, Sellers concocts a grim solution to eliminate Alex and frame his death as a heroic sacrifice, cementing his legacy in the public's favor. Sellers contacts Dr. Norton, ordering him to terminate Alex. Norton is outraged and flatly refuses, until Sellers offers a lucrative deal, promising to fund Norton's lab for the next decade. Reluctantly, Norton agrees, but only on the condition that Alex's family receives compensation. Once the arrangement is finalized, Sellers instructs Rick to prepare the robotic forces for action. As the Senate nears its final decision, Sellers manipulates Clara and David into believing Alex has already died. Back at the lab, Norton discovers soldiers already present, demanding access to Alex. As outrage erupts, Norton narrowly escapes and reaches Alex first. He activates a decoy mechanism that tricks Sellers into thinking Alex is dead. However, Alex regains consciousness, revealing that Norton had removed his transmitter, severing Omnicorp's ability to monitor or shut him down. Freed from their control, Alex quickly neutralizes the soldiers. Norton explains the plot to eliminate him, but Alex, now fueled by righteous anger, resolves to take down Sellers. Ignoring Norton's protests, he speeds off into the night on his motorcycle. Rick, spotting Alex on the move, immediately alerts Sellers, who is preparing to announce Alex's death during a live broadcast. Sellers and his security team, along with Clara and David, retreat to the rooftop, awaiting a rescue helicopter. Meanwhile, Norton seeks out Alex's best friend at the police station, pleading for his help. As Alex arrives at Omnicorp headquarters, he is met with heavy resistance. The building is fortified with armed robots and guards. Alex swiftly incapacitates a guard, forcing the others to surrender. He then crashes into the building on his bike, igniting an intense battle. The robots prove to be formidable adversaries, equipped with advanced weaponry and reinforced armor. Despite his skill, Alex is outmatched, sustaining significant damage as he fights. When he attempts to disable one of the robots by leaping onto it, he is thrown aside and trapped under rubble. Wounded and struggling, Alex frees himself with a few well-aimed shots, but his injured leg slows him down, leaving him vulnerable to enemy fire. At the critical moment, a police truck bursts into the scene. Alex's best friend steps out, positioning himself between Alex and the robots. The system, programmed to recognize police officers as non-threatening, ceases fire, giving Alex the opportunity to escape through a side corridor. Deeper inside the building, Alex confronts Rick. However, his system categorizes Rick as harmless, preventing Alex from attacking him. Rick taunts Alex, firing warning shots, and prepares to finish him off. Before Rick can pull the trigger, Alex's best friend intervenes, eliminating Rick. Though Rick retaliates, his injuries prove fatal, and Alex ensures his friend's wound is non-lethal before calling for medical assistance. Determined to end things, Alex ascends to the rooftop. As the helicopter spots him, it retreats, leaving Sellers, Clara, and David stranded. Sellers smugly assumes Alex won't harm him due to his non-threatening designation. But when Sellers threatens Clara and David, Alex's deep love for his family overrides his programming. Defying all odds, Alex fired Sellers, who fires back in a last-ditch effort. Both men collapse, but Alex reassures his family that he will survive. In the aftermath, Norton reinstalls Alex's original prototype body, granting him more autonomy and the ability to spend time with his family. Clara and David embrace Alex, relieved to have him back. Meanwhile, the tide of public opinion shifts drastically. News outlets broadcast Norton's testimony, where he confesses his role in Omnicorp's unethical experiments. His admission solidifies the government's decision to ban robotic law enforcement, overturning the proposed legislation. Novak, enraged by this outcome, delivers a fiery on-air rant, insisting that America remains unmatched in greatness despite the setback. Did you see that twist coming? From corporate conspiracies to heart-stopping action, this story proves that even the most advanced technology can't replace the power of human emotion. What would you do if you were in Alex's shoes? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more thrilling tales of humanity and technology. Until next time, remember, the fight for justice is never over.